This is the voice of the Lord, your God, my beloved child. Listen carefully if you trust in God. Type Amen. You did not arrive here by mistake. You did not tap this message by accident. Heaven has waited for this moment, and someone you loved, someone who left this earth with tears they could not speak and truths they could not tell, whispered your name last night in the realm beyond time. Archangel Michael caught that whisper. And now you're here. Right here. At the very second they prayed you would be. They didn't ask for you to find it yesterday, nor tomorrow, they asked for now. This exact minute. This heartbeat. Because they knew if you saw this at any other moment, your heart would still be carrying too much weight to believe. But right now, your soul is softened, open, ready to receive what they tried to leave behind for you. The truth is, they couldn't say everything before they left. Some of it was too heavy. Some of it was too divine. And some of it wasn't meant to be spoken, it was meant to be revealed in the stillness, in the quiet, in a moment like this. That's why Archangel Michael stood at the veil this morning and said your name 3 times, not to command you, but to awaken you. Because the very person you can't stop thinking about lately has been circling you from the heavenly realm. And they have been waiting for heaven's permission to send this sign. This video. This word. Because the pain in your heart, they felt it too. And the confusion in your spirit, they saw it before you even spoke it. That's why they asked for God to align this exact moment. You didn't open this randomly. You opened this in prophecy. There are no clocks in heaven. But there is alignment. There is intention. And there are prayers that echo through time. And one of those prayers carried your name. It carried the pain you never told anyone about. It carried the memories that wake you in the night. It carried the question you've been asking in secret, are they still with me? And this is your answer. Yes. They never left. Not truly. Not spiritually. They have been beside you in every heartbreak. In every moment you almost gave up. They were there when you cried into your pillow. They were there when you smiled through the pain. They saw it all. And they whispered to the angels, please, show them. Show them I still love them. You're watching this because they finally got permission to break through. To reach past the veil. To stand beside Archangel Michael and send this to your spirit. And now you're feeling it, that rush in your chest, that tingle down your spine, that tear forming in the corner of your eye. That is their presence. That is the echo of their soul brushing against yours. They're not far. They're never far. And what they want you to know now is simple, yet eternal. You were never forgotten. You are still their heart's most sacred memory. And they are not at rest until you know the full truth they carried in silence. That truth begins now. You have felt something for days now that you could not explain. A certain heaviness in your chest. A name returning in your dreams. A warmth brushing past you while you were completely alone. You tried to ignore it. You told yourself it was memory, imagination, grief playing tricks on you. But Archangel Michael says, no, it wasn't imagination. It was a soul. A real soul. One that once touched this earth with love and laughter, and now touches heaven with prayers just for you. This person has been watching over you from beyond the veil, but not just watching, they've been reaching. They've been calling. And today, as you open this message, the veil between the realms split open like the morning sky, and they stepped through, just for you. This was the only moment God allowed. This was the moment they were waiting for. This is the moment they asked for you to be found. Not by a person. Not by a sign in the clouds. But by this message that feels like it was written inside your chest before you even pressed play. They want you to know that they didn't forget. They didn't move on without you. They didn't stop loving you just because their body went still. Love does not die. Soul ties are not buried. Bonds that are made in pain and truth cannot be dissolved by the passing of time. They are still yours. And you are still theirs. There are nights when you've turned your head toward the ceiling and whispered their name. You thought no one heard. But the heavens did. Michael did. God did. And they did. They repeated your name back in the wind. In the quiet. In the dreams you half remember when you wake up crying. This is the moment your spirit finally receives what your heart has been begging to hear. They never wanted to leave you. Not like that. Not with that silence. Not without answers. Not without closure. And now they are here trying to pour those answers into your chest before time closes this window again. They said there were things they were not allowed to speak before they left. Secrets they carried. Feelings they hid. Truths that would have changed everything. But now? Now heaven says it is time. Time for you to know that the pain you felt when they left was only part of the story. There is beauty you haven't seen yet. There is purpose you didn't know they carried. You thought maybe their life ended in confusion or in regret, but no, there was a divine reason even in their passing. Their journey didn't stop at the end of a hospital bed or the edge of that grave. Their journey has continued into the realm of eternity, and they've been watching every step of yours since. When you thought no one understood your silence, they did. When you wanted to give up on love, they cried out to God, "Don't let them give up. I'm still here." And heaven heard them. So here you are now, watching this. At the exact time they prayed you would. At the exact minute they asked heaven to deliver this message. And now they are near you, closer than breath, whispering these words into your soul. Please don't think I stopped loving you. Please don't think I didn't care. I had so much more to say. I had so much more to do. But I want you to know, my heart is still with you. My soul is still tied to yours. And wherever you go, I will follow, in spirit, in light, in every gentle sign you see. They want you to light a candle today. Not for mourning, but for memory. They want you to smile today. Not from pretending, but from healing. Because they say you've carried enough grief. Enough questions. Enough of that hidden guilt that whispers, what if I had done more? They want you to let that go now. Because it was never your fault. They don't want you to carry that anymore. They want you to carry them, in love. In peace. In promise. In power. Because their spirit is resting now. But only if you believe they never left. Archangel Michael stands close again, his wings stretched across your room though your eyes cannot see them, only your spirit can feel them. The weight that lifted from your chest just now was not random, it was divine. Heaven is in movement. The realm of spirit is whispering louder because something is being fulfilled in this moment. A promise made by a soul you loved, before they crossed over. A prayer they sent from the other side. A request, let them see what I could never say when I was there. Let them feel what I carried in silence. And now, you feel it. That sudden lump in your throat, the warmth rushing through your arms, that memory rising up like a tide out of nowhere, that's them. They are speaking not with words, but with presence. Not with voice, but with light. And their soul is saying, you didn't imagine what we had. You didn't imagine my love. I carried it with me, all of it. Archangel Michael tells you something even more sacred now. He says this moment was written in the scrolls of heaven before this year even began. Your name was marked in gold. This time, this day, this very minute that your eyes are on this message, it was chosen. Because you were starting to forget. You were starting to believe that the love you gave was one-sided. You were starting to believe that the connection was your imagination. But heaven says no. Archangel Michael says never. This was always real. This was always written. This was always holy. They chose you back then. And they're choosing you again now, from heaven. There are things you've been wanting to hear for years now. Words they couldn't say in time. Words you kept waiting for. Closure. Confession. Forgiveness. Gratitude. But they couldn't say it when they were here. Not because they didn't want to, but because heaven hadn't opened the moment yet. But now they can. So let them speak to you now through these feelings you cannot explain. They are saying, thank you for everything you gave. Thank you for loving me when I didn't know how to love myself. Thank you for forgiving me when I didn't ask for it. Thank you for holding me in your heart even after I left. I see now. I feel now. I know now. You were the gift I didn't know how to name. Their soul is not far. They are not lost. They are not suffering. They are glowing. They are free. They are radiant in ways you cannot yet understand, and they are smiling as they look at you now, because finally you are opening your heart to believe that your love didn't die. That your tears were noticed. That your loneliness wasn't ignored. That someone from heaven stood beside you in that kitchen when you dropped to the floor in silence. That someone sat with you on the edge of your bed when the night was too heavy and the memories too loud. That someone never left your side. And that someone, yes, the one you're thinking of right now, is the one who prayed this message would find you today. This was not a coincidence. Not a random scroll. Not an accidental play. This was a divine meeting. You and them. Time and truth. Earth and eternity. Archangel Michael and the soul you miss, working together to bring you back into light. Because they don't want you stuck in sorrow. They don't want your life to feel like it ended the day theirs did. They want you to rise again. They want you to live again. They want you to carry their spirit into something beautiful. They want to be your reason, not your regret. They want to walk with you, not behind you, but beside you. In spirit. In joy. In faith. In peace. So take a breath right now. Let it go. Close your eyes if you need to. Let your spirit listen to theirs. Let their energy wrap around you like the wind that you don't see but still feel. Let Archangel Michael remind you that heaven is not far, it is near. Love is not lost, it is transformed. And what you feel now is not just memory. It is visitation. It is divine. And it is holy. The silence that surrounds you now is not empty, it's filled. It holds words that were never spoken, moments that were never explained, goodbyes that never sounded like endings, and truths that only heaven had the courage to finish. Archangel Michael is still here. Not just watching, but carrying the weight of something your heart deserves to receive. And what he holds is not a sword, not a warning, not a message of fear, but a letter sealed in the light of the afterlife. A letter that your loved one begged heaven to deliver. One sentence in this letter keeps glowing over and over again in the spiritual realm: I never stopped loving you, even after time stopped for me. That sentence is theirs. And it's yours now. There is a holy ache in your soul that you've been living with, a kind of longing that doesn't speak in words but rests in your chest like an unfinished chapter. You move through life smiling at others, but a part of you has always been waiting. Not for a new beginning, but for a sign that the ending you experienced wasn't final. That the soul you loved didn't vanish into nothingness. And now Archangel Michael leans forward with such compassion, with such gentle reverence, and says, "Your wait was not in vain. They are not gone. They have become light. They have become peace. And they still carry your name like a flame that never went out. Tonight, when the room grows quiet, you'll feel something different. A stillness that won't feel empty, but sacred. It will feel like someone is with you again. Like you're not alone in your space. That's not imagination. That's visitation. Your spirit will know it. Your body will respond with chills. Your heart will feel warmth in places that have been numb for too long. Because this is the moment when the veil thins between earth and eternity. This is when prayers meet presence. This is when your name is whispered not from the lips of a person, but from the soul of one who never truly left. They have tried many times to get your attention. Through dreams. Through music. Through memories that show up at odd hours. Through the quiet nudges in your spirit when something tells you to pause or turn around. It was always them. It was always love. But now, with Archangel Michael's divine help, the message is finally reaching you without distortion. They are telling you, "You kept me alive inside your heart when no one else remembered. You made me feel like I mattered long after I was gone. You kept my light burning. And I have never left your side." And now, something even more sacred is about to happen. Your life is not just shifting emotionally, it is opening spiritually. What heaven wants to pour into your future is deeply connected to this moment of release. The weight you've carried, the grief you buried, the questions that haunted you, they are no longer blocking what is meant for you. As you receive this love from beyond, new doors will open. Things will begin to change. Why? Because unspoken love has now been spoken. Unresolved pain is now acknowledged. You are being cleansed not through effort, but through truth. Heaven has given permission for you to rise. You do not need to have it all figured out. You do not need to be perfect. Your loved one never wanted that. They only wanted you to feel seen, to feel understood, and to finally know, without doubt, that you were always enough for them. You didn't fail them. You didn't lose them. Their soul chose to rest in peace, but also to stay in your story as light. That's what this is. Not goodbye, but reunion. A reunion written through time, sealed through prayer, and delivered through a divine moment. This one, where you're watching with an open heart at the exact second they prayed you would. Archangel Michael has not left your side since this message began, because what is unfolding is not a story for the world, it is a sacred unveiling meant only for the soul that kept believing, even in silence. You, who carried questions while still offering kindness. You, who felt abandoned but still lit candles of hope in the dark. You, who heard nothing from the one who left, but somehow knew they weren't truly gone. And now, heaven confirms what your heart whispered all along. This moment, this exact one, is the place where their soul returns in peace to finally speak what was locked behind the veil. This is their love note to your spirit, sealed not with ink, but with eternity. They saw everything. Every moment you broke down quietly in places no one else noticed. Every time you tried to move forward but were pulled back by a memory. Every tear you let fall while clutching something they left behind. And they want you to know this: they were never far. Even when your world was shaking, even when your joy vanished, even when people told you to move on, they stood beside you. Not like a shadow, but like a guardian. They say, "I never missed a second of your life. You were the only part of earth that still felt like home to me." Their presence now isn't just emotional, it's prophetic. They come with divine timing, because what is about to be unlocked in your life requires your heart to be whole again. There is a calling that has been held back, not because you were unworthy, but because the grief you buried was too heavy to walk with. But now, as the message is received and the spiritual cord between their soul and yours is revived, you're stepping into a version of your life that is finally open to miracles. They are telling heaven, "I release them from the pain. I release them into light. I want their life to flourish even if mine ended early." Archangel Michael bows his head gently as these words pour out. Because not all love stories are romantic. Some are eternal. Some live in places human eyes cannot see but are more real than any earthly bond. This person, this soul, you loved, didn't choose to leave your life. Their departure was written in divine timing. But their return to your spirit? That was chosen. That was prayed for. That was begged for. They said, "Please, let them know I'm still here. Let them know I didn't forget. Let them know they were the best part of my journey." And so, this is no ordinary video. No ordinary moment. This is heaven's response to a conversation your soul had with God while you were asleep. You asked to feel something. To see a sign. To know for sure that they didn't vanish into nothingness. And now you know. The warmth you're feeling. The chills that keep visiting your arms. That sudden memory that hit your chest while reading this? That's them. That's confirmation. That's presence. And that's love, pure, eternal, unstoppable love that not even death could break. There are parts of your future they are blessing even now. Places you'll visit where they'll walk beside you. People you'll meet who will carry glimpses of their smile. Songs that will start playing when you most need to remember who you are. These are not coincidences. These are divine arrangements. And you, beloved soul, are at the center of a supernatural unfolding. The angels are writing new chapters now. Ones that no longer carry sorrow, but carry fulfillment, connection, and peace. Because their final prayer in heaven was not for themselves, it was for you. They waited until now because your spirit was finally ready to hear it without breaking. Heaven protects fragile hearts. Sometimes the delay is not rejection, it is sacred timing. And Archangel Michael confirms this truth now as he hovers beside the soul who once touched your life in a way no one else could. They stand near each other in the unseen, speaking together in your favor. They have pleaded that this moment reach you, not just in your eyes, but in your bones, your breath, your memories. They say, please tell them, it was always them. No one else made me feel home like they did. And Michael, mighty and majestic, with eyes full of fire and gentleness, has carried that message like a flame through realms, just to get it here, to your screen, to your breath, to your heart. You need to know they didn't leave without a purpose. In fact, their absence created space for your awakening. Their passing didn't end the connection, it transformed it. And now that your heart has endured, matured, and risen from the pit of silent grief, their spirit can finally touch yours again without causing collapse. That is why, right now, your body feels like it remembers something ancient. Your skin feels sacred. Your emotions feel like they're unlocking a door you didn't know you had inside you. That is their return. Not in flesh, but in flame. Not in voice, but in vibration. Not in presence, but in power. And it's happening now because the clock of heaven just opened this window, one that only you were meant to receive.